In this dirty old part of the city where the sun refused to shine, people tell me there ain't no use in trying. Now my girl, you're so young and pretty, and one thing I know is true: you'll be dead before your time is due. I know. Watch my daddy in bed at time. Watch his hand been turning gray. He's been working and slaving his life away. Oh yes, I know. He's been working so hard.
So hello YouTube, this is my 1968 Hawaii City marine impression. So this is just an impression that me and Porter have put together through military gear. It's not entirely accurate, but it should be pretty close. So starting with the jungle fatigues, just have two third patterns. Second patterns or first patterns would have been more common. I'm pretty sure you do see some third patterns though. This one was made in 68, this one was made in 69, so not entirely impossible. I have just a Marine Corps belt. This one's from the 50s. It should work with that. Have some third pattern Panama sole jungle boots. These ones have just been, they're like super salty, they've been beat up. You would not see third pattern jungle boots in Vietnam. I'm sorry, in Hawaii City. You see them later in Vietnam, but not really at this point, so that's not entirely accurate. Then up here, I have my web setup. So in Hawaii City, it was pretty interesting. It was a mix between M56 and M61 gear as the Marine Corps was transitioning. You even see some World War II surplus and Korea surplus in there. So I have some M61 suspenders. No, sorry, these are M41 suspenders, like the kind used in World War II. These were common with the M61 setup. Just have some M56 pouches. The M61 stuff still would have been more common. Same with the canteens. I have an M1910 on this side, so that was part of the M61 setup, and I have an M56 over here, which was the later one that was kind of being transitioned into, and just a jungle first aid kit. Something neat about my web setup though is I do have a tripod. No, not a tripod, this is a bipod. But bipods, you don't really see them all too much in Vietnam until Hawaii City. You see so many bipods being used in Hawaii, like on Marine Corps setups. Same with like Caisson Firebase. I don't know what about it during this time in Vietnam, why these were so common, but they really were, so I thought I would include it. This was actually given to us by our dad's friend who was a tanker in Germany after Vietnam, so just if he's watching, thank you for this. Just have a Airsoft XM16E1 rifle. Again, this is a fake gun. It's got the three-prong flash hider. Don't know why I can't say that right now. Yeah, the XM16E1 was the M16 used by the Army and Marine Corps before the M16A1 came around. So this would have been the standard rifle for a Marine infantryman during Vietnam. And up here I have my M41 haversack. You don't see haversacks all too much in Vietnam and Hawaii. They started getting ditched since it was so urban. You know, it was all this urban warfare. So they didn't really necessarily need to be carrying all their gear around all the time since they were constantly being resupplied. But I have it out. You see them some early on in the battle. Oh, also the Marines were super not prepared for the Battle of Hue City. So most Marines didn't come with all their equipment. Have a bayonet on the side for the M16 and have just a poncho through the middle. HPT hat. I forget what they're called. This is Porter, so he would know. Here's my M1 helmet. This is actually Porter's. It's a 1973 cover, so we think that somebody, before we bought it, wrote all this graffiti on it. So it says, "Kill a commie for mommy," and then we have a black inner tube band on it. And insect repellent and toilet paper and salt. In Hue, it was super common to see graffiti on helmets and stuff on the helmet bands, like way more common than you see at any other time, during the war. So I thought we would include that. Just a liner, nice condition, no chin straps. Have a gas mask bag. So gas masks were required to be used by the Marine Corps starting about early 1968. So every Marine in Hue, for the most part, would have carried a gas mask. This one's actually the later war one. It's an M17A1 bag. And I'll pull out the gas mask. Again, this is the later war one. It has the drinking tube, so you can drink out of a canteen. This was not around during Hue. So there's that. It's dated 1969. It was approved by the Chemical Corps in 1970. So kind of a later war gas mask, but still pretty cool. I have an M55 flak. You see in Hue mostly first patterns, but you see a lot of second and third patterns too. So the second pattern has the nylon pockets. That's the difference between it and a first pattern. And a third pattern just has the nylon pockets with exposed buttons and a left-handed shooter cord. This one is dated 1982, so it's post-Vietnam. This one came without the plates, so I put some cardboard in there and where the plates would have go, so it works great. Over here I have my bandoliers. So this one is the one for your magazine pouches. Bandoliers were super common in Hue. You see more bandoliers than you see like web gear, I would say. And you see with Marines with like 2 to 3 bandoliers, and that's how they carried all their ammunition. Really, just because they were easy to get out of the ammo cans. It was easy to restock ammo since we were burning up a bunch of ammo in Hue. And then, so this one's for the stripper clips. These ones weren't as common, but Porter wanted me to include it, so I did. Just a shovel. This one's the M43 shovel cover. The M61 would have been more common, but the only difference is it has like a snap button. But you do see World War II surplus in Hue, so I don't think it would be uncommon for a Marine to have something like this. A 1944 dated shovel and a 1944 dated shovel cover. So there's that. But I don't really see shovels all too much in Hue. That's why I didn't include it on my M41. I would assume since it was in the city, they didn't really need to be digging, so it would make sense that they didn't have it. However, I have seen one picture of a Marine with it, so I just thought I would include it. For personal items, again, Marines are traveling light, so I just have a flashlight, seed ration accessory packet. This one's post-war. 1970 dated seed ration, tin, toilet papers, matches, a lighter, bandage, dog tags, and then I have this big M60 belt. These are all dummy rounds I found at an antique store, but in a way it was super common to see Marines just loaded down with ammunition for the machine gunners, I guess. So they would just bear a little bit of the burden off him and carry it for him. I guess you just see lots of Marines with these, so I thought I would just throw it in. And over here, this is the last thing I have to show. It says U.S. Army, but just pretend it doesn't say that. This is an M65 field jacket. At the beginning of Hue, it was in January and February and March, so it wasn't the warmest. So you see Marines with M65s with these Navy deck parkas to try to keep warm. So just thought that would include this in. Got this for $5 in an estate sale, so it wasn't. So I thought that was a pretty cool deal. I thought I would show it. Well, thank you for watching. I'll probably post a video of Porter wearing all this stuff to some music. Oh, sorry, let's jump. Some grenades. Well, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. It really helps us out. We love doing this, helping teach people about history, especially parts that may not be as well known, like what the field gear of a Marine would have looked like in Hue. Some future impressions to look out for is where I'm working on a 1944 ANZO 3rd Infantry Division impression. World War II, as well as for Vietnam, 5th Battalion, 12th Infantry, 199th Light Infantry, around Saigon impression. I'm working on that. Probably do them again for when they went into Cambodia in 1970. And then comment down below if there's any impressions you want me to do or any questions about this.